Hi and welcome to another YouTube video. I've been waiting to share this one with you for such a long time, since this is a project that has been on my mind forever, because I've tried building my own personal dream house so many times. I wanted to have something in the end where I was like, I could give this to an architect if I had the money and would say to them, build this for me please, and they would say yeah, okay, and then I would decorate the interior exactly like I did it in The Sims, and I would not be missing anything. It would just like be perfect forever, and that was my goal. And so of course that is not the easiest goal to set for oneself, but one that I think a lot of people that build in The Sims have set for themselves at least once. And this house that you see me building right now is, I think, attempt number 5 at doing so. As you can probably imagine, it was quite the journey, and it's very, very personalized. The first 3 iterations of my dream house were months apart from each other and in some totally different situations and styles. So the first one I did was very like fantasy-like with a lot of little towers to it, and the second one was when cottage living just came out, and so I've built my dream house like cottage. Then the third one, I was like, in the first 2 ones I always liked the outside, but I was never satisfied with the interior because the shapes of the interior I wanted and the exterior I wanted just did not fit together. So what I decided to do was build something modern and solely like focus on the interior. But then I was happy with the interior, but I did not like the exterior, and I would like to like the exterior in my dream home. And so with all 3 of them, I had recorded it, I had even edited some of it. I think I never recorded a voiceover for any of them, but like I always wanted to post my own personal dream house on my channel, but there was never a house that felt like it was good enough. And so recently that idea came back into my mind as something that I really wanted to do just for myself, until this house came to my mind that I had walked past so many times because it was close to the school that I went to, and I always saw that as kind of my dream house. I always admired how beautiful it was, so I attempted to build something in that style. And first I was very, very unsure if it would look good in The Sims, because it was basically just a pretty white box but with so many beautiful windows, and also like kind of symmetrical, but having like one house part off to one side and this stunning entryway. And it also had 2 cherry trees in the front, which would just like bloom in the most beautiful pink in the springtime. And I knew how much I always wanted to walk or drive past that house. I can sadly not show you the reference picture of the actual house, like from my actual life, that I walked past, because it was very close to the high school that I went to, and my sister's still going to that high school, and I'm not going to like dox that on the internet, but I'm going to show you some reference pictures of houses that are very, very similar to it, so you can kind of see the vibe that I'm going for. And hopefully you can also already see the vibe in this like speed build footage of the exterior that you're seeing right now. Kind of trying to breeze past because the most stuff that I want to talk about is with the interior, so I wanted to keep the speed build for the exterior kind of fast. And so you probably remember when I said that this is the 5th or the 6th iteration of this house, but so far I have only told you about the ones in the different styles. But this one, now that I had like the style that I wanted to go for and was sure with it, and I had the inspiration pictures, I still needed to execute it in The Sims somehow. And that is not that easy, because I feel like this is a style that does not lend itself to The Sims very well. And so the first few times that I tried to build a house like this, I failed. I did not fail. They did not look terrible, but they did not look like a dream house material. And I wanted this to be not just my dream house in The Sims, but like my actual dream house with no compromises being made. And so I just did it over and over and over again until I landed on this iteration of it all. And this one, at the beginning, I also was not sure if this was going to work, but then I stuck with it. And as soon as I had put in the windows, those beautiful Stranger Things windows with the blue shutters, I I just knew that this was the one and that I wanted to continue building this one. And the reason that this style is so difficult to pull off is because it is so simple and so detailed at the same time. So on the one hand, you have a very, very simple shape, but then that simple shape has a lot of little details in the walls and in the windows and stuff. And that just does not go together well in The Sims because we don't really have a way to detail a wall necessarily. We of course have wall details, but those are preset and sometimes do not look good in like huge masses of them. So I was a little scared because The Sims is better for complicated shape with simple like accent walls and everything being a little bit more clean. But I think with this one it finally worked. Let me know if you think it worked and if you like understand what kind of difficulty I was trying to explain. And you just saw me put in these 2 red trees in the front and also putting a little cage around them to make them look more fancy or make them stand out more, because I really wanted them to be one of the focal pieces of this build, since they are something that I remember so well and so fondly from the house that inspired the building of this house, like the real one. And these 2 trees, I know that the kind of leaf structure that they have is not typical for a lot of European trees, and this is definitely a European build, I would say, since I plan to stay here. However, these 2 trees just had the perfect shape. It was exactly like the shape I remembered, and also they had this beautiful red color that was also fitting for cherry trees, especially in spring, but these just are like red all year round, which is perfect for what I want, because I kind of just wanted 2 red trees in the front of my house apparently. So I was very happy when I found them. But there were also so many thoughts that went into so many other parts of the exterior, so I really need to talk fast so that I can like share it all with you so that you can understand. Because for example, when it came to choosing the slots, I knew that I wanted to have a lot that is close to the water, because ever since I was a little child, I always loved to go swimming and to be close to the sea and the water, even though I was not much. Like, I was not near the water much because we lived very far away from it. But for a few family holidays and vacations, I got to see the sea and I wanted to be there more. And I always had this dream to have a little artist cabin by the sea and stuff. So this had a little bit of that implemented with being so close to the sea. But I also wanted something that was... Oh, wait a second. Before I continue talking further, I need to explain what is happening right now. Because currently there is an army of snowmen guarding my house. And that is not because I wanted that army of snowmen in front of my house, but that is because I wanted to put in these lanterns and it was kind of hard to differentiate and tell how far away they were from each other, and I wanted them to be like kind of symmetrical and similarly far away from each other, and so I needed some help, and the snowmen decided to help me with that and showed me how far away from each other everything is, and then I just removed them, but I thought it looked very cool when I had the army of snowmen in front of my house, so I kept that in the speedbuild footage. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, about the lot choice. So I wanted something that was a little bit secluded so that nobody would like judge when you're like whenever you're awake or at which times the lights in your house are on. Nobody would be bothered if I were to shower with loud music at 4 a.m. or if I don't know, just wanted to listen to loud music, or I don't know, record a voiceover in the middle of the night. So yeah, on the one hand, I wanted it to be secluded, but on the other hand, I also did not want to drive 4 hours until I can go grocery shopping or until I'm somewhere where something is happening. And so I thought that this lot, which is the lot where usually the lounge is, the Club Calico Lounge in Britton Bay, I thought this one was perfect with being directly next to the water, but also directly next to the harbor where there are a lot of little grocery stores or little pop-up shops. There is also a pub where things are happening, but at the same time it's like very secluded. It has walls and a lot of space around it, and there's not just that much happening directly next to it, so I could be as loud as I want to be in there and nobody would be there and would be bothered by it. And one last little thing that I quickly wanted to talk about is the flowers. Speed build went too fast, but I wanted to keep it kind of short for just the exterior because there's so much that I want to talk about with the interior and so much thought that went in as well. But yeah, very quick. For the flowers, I definitely wanted to have yellow flowers and sunflowers just to keep the sunny theme of the channel and stuff, and because I really like the color yellow. But my other favorite color that I kind of alternate between is blue, and so I also wanted to incorporate a bunch of blue flowers. But then the prettiest flowers that exist in The Sims, in my opinion, are these like cream rosé ones from Cottage Living, and so I really wanted to incorporate them as well. And so the three colors of flowers that I chose were blue, yellow, and kind of like rosé white. And now we're already getting into the tour, and I will like stay with you through the tour and kind of talk you through it and talk you through all of the different thoughts that I had while putting together the interior. Okay, so when we first get into the house, we land in the entry area, where on the one hand just wanted to put in all of the decorations where I thought like they kind of reflect my style and I really like them and I would want them in real life. But I also wanted to have some sort of couch to put on your shoes on and a bunch of storage space for jackets and unused shoes and all kinds of decor stuff or whatever you would need in an entrance. Then we get into the next room, which is the room that I'm the least happy with in this build, which was kind of born out of a necessity, which is the guest bedroom. But that one was born out of necessity because I've built a greenhouse with rounded walls, because in previous iterations of this I had like this large garden with a bunch of space to grow my own fruits and vegetables, and I did not have this in this garden, so I wanted to have a greenhouse and I could not use any walls around the rounded walls of the greenhouse, so the guest bedroom ended up being kind of a weird shape, and I tried to solve that issue with those tiny living Murphy beds. Now we're getting into the dining room and kitchen, and I have this beautiful cute plushie that is like a white ice bear, and this one with a yellow heart always reminds me of it, and this is pretty similar to what would be my dream kitchen with space to study and stuff, and there's also a bunch of storage space. This is the view that you would have when you're like doing the dishes and stuff, but there's of course also a dishwasher for like, I don't know, because it's very handy to have. So next up we're entering the party cellar, where you can already see you can play darts, and there's a bunch of space for entertaining, because I do want to be able to have like people over and have a little like house party without really having to clean up the entire house. And so you can get to this little cellar immediately from the entranceway and can just like immediately go down. And in here we have this little party space where if you would put away the couch table, you have some space to dance with the music stations, and you also have some gaming systems next to the huge TV, because there is no other living room in this house. Like, this is the living room, and so if you put away the couch table, you also have space to play Just Dance or something on the Wii, on the Switch. And yeah, I just thought it would be fun. But because this is mainly a space for hosting and there's also a bar and for parties and stuff, the bathroom in the cellar is made more like a public bathroom, because I thought that would be very handy to have if you have a bunch of people over. Now we're going upstairs, where we have those beautiful reading nooks in the hallway, which are kind of a remainder of the more fantasy version of my dream house that I've built, that I remembered and really wanted to bring back in this version. And this is the bedroom for me and my partner, who have now been living together since 2007 and have been together for 7.5 years. So I heavily took him into consideration while building this house. And immediately next to our bedroom is a bathroom, a blue bathroom like I always dreamed of having one. And then next to that is the recording studio with a beautiful backdrop just for the cutting station. And there are our two PC setups for gaming and for streaming and for recording videos. And that would be my new like background on camera, and it would just be so much better than what I have right now. And I think that would be so cute and pretty. And this is like the main bathroom, which is kind of like a spa station and has like a nice calm vibe, which I really like. So this is the main bathroom, but I probably would always go to the blue one just because it's directly next to my side of the bed. And this is my little art space. I really wanted to include some hobby rooms instead of children's rooms because we don't have any kids, so that just felt better and for myself. So I wanted to give myself a space with some easels, but also a drawing gaming graphic tablet. Not just a graphic tablet, but just a tablet in general that I can just like sit there and draw on. But because the whole room was kind of old school, I put that tablet onto like an old school table just to make it fit in more. And also, as you could see, I put ACs into all of the rooms upstairs because we're currently living underneath a roof and it gets incredibly hot in here. So that is part of my dream house, to have ACs in the upstairs. And now you're seeing my boyfriend's hobby room, the crafting station and a music mixing station and a bunch of like guitars, because he plays the bass guitar and we don't have that in The Sims, but we have normal guitars, and also a keyboard. He plays a little bit of keyboard, but mostly he plays an e-drum set or just like drums in general. So that was like the closest resemblance I could find, was using the and then there's just the attic on top, and now we're seeing the, I would say, gorgeous exterior again. I hope that you also think that it's gorgeous. I hope that you like this, that you can see like someone, or maybe even yourself if you're similar to me, living in this house. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having a lovely day. If you would consider subscribing, you would make me super duper happy, and I hope we'll see each other again.